Addiction thinks in circles, whereas invention thinks in spirals.
Yes. Yes,
And
yes,
I
yes.
love it. And spiral is not one dot, it's actually one seed becoming bigger and bigger and bigger
Mhm.
and bigger and bigger and bigger.
So I'm grateful for that. And then two, just the pain just reminding me like this body is so amazing.
Where else can you go
Hmm.
other than inside? And
Hmm.
when you're so almost like forced to face yourself, you find lots of love.
I really like this one.
Oh my God. Thank God, because this one is weird.
Yeah.
This one is not fun at all.
Did you find it challenging? I was wondering how much Aquarius you have in your chart.
Oh, it's just I have I have little to none.
Hmm.
It just shows in my MC, which is career, the peak. And
Hmm.
I don't have this one, which is why I don't understand Aquariuses.
Yeah.
Ooh. How are you? How are you? How much of it you have in your chart? Though I just
I
looked at your chart the other day.
yeah, I don't think I have any, but my son is like I'm born on the 21st, so I'm pretty on the cusp.
Mm.
So the dreaminess, the fantasy, I resonate. Like I'm like deeply aware of that. I don't know if
Mm.
it's yeah. I don't know how it'll show up for me in the chart, like as I move through my life. But this, especially the shadow, I'm like, okay, I I'm pretty intimately aware of this shadow. So.
Wow. So do you find it challenging, hard, or just did you accept it? Like, how do you deal with it?
Mm.
Fantasy.
It's
And what is
yeah.
fantasy for you, actually?
Um, Fantasy for me is mm, it's an escape mostly. Well, I should say from my perspective, if I'm not zooming out, then it is like a place of beauty, longing, desire, heartache. Just like it's a very emotional, very strong pull, like a very magnetic quality to it. But then if I zoom out, I'm like, okay, it's an escape. So how do you deal with it? Um, yeah, and I think your first question was how was your question, how do you deal with it?
Yeah, I guess you deal with it almost like equivalent to how you understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and there's different seasons of life, right? Where it's interesting because, we say whatever gene key that we're discussing of the week, we tend to have some manifestations in the week itself.
So good. I
And
love
my
that.
yeah, and my dreams this week were like they're just fun. And I wake up sometimes from them and I'm like, man, it's just so fun to be in the dreamland. It doesn't always make perfect sense. Hardly ever makes perfect sense in terms of like continuity and context, but they're just really interesting places to be. And in terms of like the capabilities, the interactions. And so I find I'm I'm like being pulled back into this realm of fantasy because I'm like I can come up with theories, you know, about what the dreams are, whether it's playing in the astral realm, whether I'm supposed to learn something from them. I can do that, but ultimately I have to come back to, okay, I woke up in my bed. I'm in Hawaii. I have three sons. Like, what am I doing today? Because, I can get lost in that realm.
Mm. And do you find you attach to your fantastical dreams?
Yeah. Yeah.
You do. You want that to happen. Is there a sense of you that I wish I can do that? I wish I can hold and have that life.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a part of me that really attaches to it. Um, yeah, if I'm being honest.
Wow.
It's not easy
But
to
what,
to admit that, but
okay, but what in it you're attached to? Sorry, I'm gonna dive underneath.
what in it am I attached to? I don't know if it's like the story or the possibility or the I think it's like the story. There's probably layers to the attachment itself. Like, okay, I'm attaching at surface here, and then if I'm going deeper, I'm thinking maybe maybe it's like I want there to be a reason for the dreams themselves, for the fantasy.
Mhm,
Like I wouldn't just have such a strong experience or a strong desire or a strong fantasy if I weren't meant to, and this is so interesting and like this gene key, if I weren't meant to like bring it into the world somehow or dive into the dream or the fantasy deeper. Like, and then there's like some mid-level attachment where I, the dreams are kind of happening to me and I wake up and I'm like, well, that was fun. I wish I had more autonomy or control in that space. And I know people can like lucid dream,
mhm.
but yeah, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question.
Okay, so okay, so do you attach to it as you crave it, or do you just acknowledge it? It's part of your, it's part of you. It was
Mm-hmm.
part of you. It will never repeat itself again the same way. It's just the visual representation, something that it's living and
Yeah.
cohabitating inside of your psyche. But do you attach to it so much so that your day, your weeks, you can't, like almost like you must have the freedom to explore, to dream, to write, to um paint, to like shoot photography, to express your creativity in it, right? So it's almost like there's a meaning behind it specifically, and in the fantastical world of dreams. But I don't find that I attach to it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't really attach to it. Oh my God, I wish I had that house, or I wish I had that life, right? So somehow what I really want doesn't show up in the dream, right? It's like what I think I want does not show up in a dream. And we can, of course, get lost in it. But the dreams to me are not something I can attach to. They're just cues. They're just like information that I
Mm-hmm.
really quickly forget, but they're part of me. And I read it somewhere recently and it says, your dream, I think it was Carl Jung too. It's like your dreams are not of God. Nobody created it. You created it. So
Mm-hmm.
it is your own information.
Yeah.
It is your own data set, your source, your resource. Something in it is speaking of you in
Mm-hmm.
symbolic way, right? It's like it symbolizes something, and nobody will ever find out what that is, but it's yours. It's your property. It's you of your psyche. But what I find the difference between for this Jinki shadow is like fantasy in the dreams are unconscious, right? So there's a massive amount of subconscious that plays part of it. and only bits and pieces of what we know come to the dream. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Eric, there's a tsunami, there's Carly, who is my wife, right? So it's like these bits and pieces, everything else is just much more than what we would do in a conscious reality. So, but when I'm awake and I fantasize about something, which is I want to hold on to it,
Mm.
I find this dream, this key shadow to be so hard because the fantasy lives outside of me.
Yeah.
And it's either for something that I never acquired, held onto, or did in my life, or came true. And it's because that didn't happen. I want something tomorrow, and it's such a trickery of the mind that I was sweating when I was reading this. It's like, you're either there or you're there. And what it's doing, it's like, it's making you create the worlds of fantasies that you want to own.
Yeah.
And it's totally missing out the point of I'm right now, right here. And all I have is a creative force that it's either here or it's not here. And so let me see what can come out of me. Let me see if I can imagine. This
Yeah.
is why I wrote the difference between fantasy and imagination to me is clearly different. The one I don't want to attach to, imagination. It's coming through me, it's becoming through me. And the fantasy is like what I'm fantasizing because I can't have it. And I keep coming back to it, to want it, desire it. And I'm in this loop of, I need you, I need you, I need you. I
Mm-hmm.
want you, I desire you. And I'm getting lost and my time is ticking.
Mm-hmm.
And I just came
It,
to this realization this week and I was like, oh, true for me. I don't know if it plays any truth in what I just said to you, but yeah, you can elaborate.
and so you mentioned time being like the differentiating factor. So you feel a sense of your life running thin, or like you're out of time, or there's like a rush, there's like pressure to bring it in, whereas imagination feels more free.
It gives me time. It's
Imagination
such a
gives you
true.
time.
Yes, because you enter into the imaginary world that you create on your own. And you're literally what he says, how I experience this. It's like you're sitting and you're waiting. You're sipping on your coffee and you're waiting for a hint to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes. It's like in a vipassana, it's similar to vipassana. Vipassana, you sit and you wait, you observe. All he says is like, notice,
Mm-hmm.
observe, and you're sitting there meditating and you're waiting and things come up from your belly up and the memory just comes to you or some sort of revelation just comes to you and it's very chaotic, it's never
Mm-hmm.
timed, but in this space of wonders of imaginatory world that you are like entering, this waiting is timeless. Time somehow 2 hours later, it's like, wow, where did the time go? So you almost have a sense of gaining the time back rather than time ticking because I'm stuck in what is not now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
What a paradox. What a trick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me give you another
What to do with
example.
it?
Let me give you another example that I actually wrote here. And I had the podcast with a friend of mine, and we were talking about love. And she was explaining is that love is now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not later. And what we do is like we cling to this structure, thinking we can do that later next year. And I'm not calling you out. I'm just going to use an example that it came to my mind. Like next year, we're planning on making a big vacation. I think you said that in a previous. We're going to make it big, and we're going to go a family vacation somewhere next year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but next year, it's not real. It's
Mm-hmm.
fantasy.
No,
it's
that's
it's a plan. What is real is now. And
mm-hmm.
when you decided to do that later, in that right moment, you had something inside of you very much alive. The same applies for love. It's like, I can't wait to love you tomorrow and the next time because I don't know will it actually happen. All I have is now. And this sense of urgency to actually come back into the now this,
I see.
right? She's like, I'm here right now, Raven. She always comes and visits and stares at me like this.
Mm,
Um, yeah, love happens now. It doesn't happen later. It actually does not live in the future. It lives in a very moment.
mm,
And if you can't, it's available now. Let me dive into it deeper. Love is available in the moment or is not. And for the love that it's not available, we fantasize
yeah.
tomorrow for. Okay, maybe tomorrow you will be. No. And that's where we are like, wait a minute, but I'm available now. And I'm available in this right moment with everything that I am because I feel this. And if later or tomorrow or next Friday happens, then forget about it.
Mm,
You are fantasizing about the love that comes as not available for you in that right moment, though you're available. Does that make sense? So I had to write it down in and I wanted to really touch base on this. It's like you give what you have in that moment.
yeah. Yeah, and
And
that's all
it,
you can give.
yeah, I cannot give you next Friday because I don't
Hmm.
have it. I can't give
Yeah,
you later. Yeah.
and I think Richard talks about energy in this context as well. Like we actually have access to all kinds of energy, but when we place our attention outside of the present, we lose the energy, and then we have sickness in the body and that sort of thing. But in the same sense, I've been thinking more and more about this because um, I made a pretty drastic change in how I am approaching sexuality, and we can get into it if we want. But from a high level view, I am deeply, deeply sensitive now to my own desires. And in each moment, I can fantasize about fulfilling the desire in some future event or having, like having, grasping, needing. But then I realize it takes me away from the love that's available, like what you're talking about, like the love that's available, what I have to give. And so what is emanating out of me or within me that's available that I'm looking at like this is desire that needs to be fulfilled. Actually, and this is like so cool with this jinky is like it's that feeling of like Ouroboros within me that just like it's eating itself, the emanation from source. It feels like he said it's like a black hole. I'm like, it's the only way I
Mm.
could describe it. It's a black hole. If I approach it, it sucks me in. If I run from it, it pulls me back. But if I just sit and be present, like in Vipassana, things come out,
Mm-hmm.
like experiences come out, or insights come out, or maybe my own emotional state shifts, and that's the value in that moment, right? Instead of the attachment to what will come or what may come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool. And when you sit in it, because something is alive inside of you, and it can be one of many energies that are happening in you. So, and here's where I question what to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, we can sit and observe and let it pass through us. Let it just do what it needs to do. Let it shuffle us inside. Let it orgasm with us, right? Let it disturb the chemical reaction. But that is bodily physiological reaction through the body. And we're not just the body,
Yeah.
right? We have a mind that it's aware that this is happening. And we also have a choice to do something with it or totally shut it off. And the more we learn how to slowly open to it and tease it. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where it goes a little deeper. It's like if you tease it, and you sense, try some to do something with it. And I don't mean do something with the world around you. First, we need to figure out this world. So try to use the energy to see, can it create? Because
Mm-hmm.
in what I learned from Vita, it is very, 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 very important, is that yes, energy can come in and it sits there and it's just like goes like zzz, is like brewing. But to learn how to channel this and to learn how to play with this energy is actually where we get to move the energy in metaphysical and
Mm-hmm.
utilize it through our body because it showed up in the body. And I think this is where the creative lives underneath it,
Mm-hmm.
because something is happening to enliven you so much so that it gives you this life nudge, nudge aliveness, nudge of
Mm-hmm.
aliveness. And when energy is alive, which is in many ways life force of eros, and it's flying through you, get curious about it. Like, okay, what do you want? What do you
Yeah.
want? Right? It's like, but stay tuned into it, attune
Mm-hmm.
into it, all your attention to come into it. And this is where that it's not really outside of you, it's actually part of you. And coming back into that moment is all you have to give out from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the scary thing, the fear that I have is like, uh, it's just such a. I've spent most of my adulthood satisfying desires, right? And the moment you stop, and that no longer becomes your focus, it almost feels like the energy that's there now is like so big. It's bigger than my body. It's bigger than my mind, and the sensitivity in all of life increases. So it's almost like the fear is like this questing, not knowing what to do with how big it can feel. Um, but ultimately, like you said, there's you can move the energy a little bit. Breath and movement help a lot. And then what I find it now is like, sure, there's creativity. Like I can just do raw creativity. Like I can write something or edit a video or something like that. But when I'm like reading gene keys or astrology or doing this, I feel like such a connection to the work now, where it's like it's like cellular. It's like you feel like a download happening beyond just I'm reading, it's intellectual and it's happening at this level. It's like now there's this connection. Um, and I just think it's interesting that it's not like it's not that I'm suppressing desire. I'm just being with desire. Like I'm like, well, what is, I'm curious. I'm like, well, what is behind this desire itself instead of just satiating it immediately. Like every time you're hungry, imagine being so wealthy that you have servants that are constantly bringing you food and anticipating your needs before you might even need them. And your hunger is satiated, and you did this from a young age. And then you came to like, okay, I'm 34 now, and sure, I'm the king of this kingdom, and I could have anything. I'm gonna try to, not have food for a day. All of a sudden fasting or doing vipassana or going out into the wilderness by myself, and you feel like now all of a sudden life becomes way more sensitive, and in some level it's like death approaches, or like you are closer to the door, the veil that's on the other side
Mm.
is moving towards you. I don't know why this metaphor is coming up, but maybe you have some.
No, I want to dive into it.
Yeah.
But you said is that you connect with this key in many ways, or you don't have it.
Yeah.
And that this key speaks about that exact highs and lows and to- unsuchy, forever ever satisfied, never satisfied hunger
Yeah.
to do something, yet feeling powerless entirely and literally sitting here waiting for the codon to change
Mm-hmm.
in a law of randomness. And because we don't know when is this genetic thing is gonna change inside of us. So it's when you are kind of like, which how I understand what you're trying to explain is like I almost like have both sides. And I'm afraid to move to the left and right and do something about it rather than I'm sitting here getting to know it.
Yeah.
I'm like
Beautifully put.
sitting,
Mm-hmm.
getting comfortable with it before I make move.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful that you're aware of that because even that is part of, like understanding your capacities to handle powers that are in play, right? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
powers that are in play, also powers that you're putting upon the powers through the mind and what you think you should and get. Like, we think through our mind, we understand life through our mind. And yet you still have this like feeling in the body that it's doing its own thing. And that's why I think it's so challenging because this key is just very like almost like when you're in a car chase in a freeway and there are cars left and right, you almost have to be predictable. You're not doing anything. You're just standing there and you're driving, hoping
Oh yeah.
not to get hit. And I got in a car chase in LA. It's real. It's like you literally have to stand still and be aware of everything what's happening, and you can't
Mm-hmm.
do anything. That's how this key reminds me of. It's like I'm right here, right now, knowing everything, and I can't move.
Mm. Yeah.
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
Yeah. Does it so does the word stuck resonate, or like how would you
More trick, a
trick?
trickery. Like, but it's in the sense of there is the self trickery that happens all the time. Whether you move forward, you know you're gonna be behind. Whether you move 10 steps
Mm.
back, you know you're missing out the forward. It's like there's this, yeah, trickery more than stuck.
Yeah. I'm the two words that came up, I don't know. I'm trying to piece them together, but eros, like in this in this space between, there's so much eros. Like just like that, like the love that's present and available now instead of going left or going right or going in the past or going in the future. And then the other word was well, it's gone. So I don't remember.
But you're talking errors for your own experience of this, like so much happening inside of you that has the quality of errors, life force and love force,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Oh, and the other word was lila, which I think is loosely translated to play.
Mm.
And it's like the universe playing and you're part of the game, but also you're playing as the universe itself. Interesting.
Okay. So do you want to talk about the shadow and being stuck in the shadow, or do you want to talk about what is happening currently with that life force living inside of you? And I'm just going to ask you one thing. Do you think the force, the power, the essence wants to stay still or wants to move and evolve through you? How do you feel this? Because it can go
Oh,
either way.
yeah, I couldn't stop it from moving me. Like it's like there's a lot that's shifting.
So it's moving.
Yeah, it's moving.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's interesting because I've always approached either repressive or reactive, like we say, like left or right. And yeah, it's almost like it moves of its own accord, like it decides. And I think that's like, as much as we're approaching the mystical, it's like the eros that kind of embeds itself in reality, like this. The nature of reality itself is eros, like that is the basis. When you go down to the deepest levels, that's what holds it all together. And I think in my experience, it's like there's this fear that that's true, because if that's true, that means that the life that I've known is fundamentally different than the stories that I've made up to make sense of it.
Mm,
And then I have to let go of those stories to allow that eros to penetrate me.
yeah. Yeah. How is and how do you see this of hunger that this Jinki speaks of, hunger for purpose, hunger for having living your own purpose?
Hmm. I can't really, I don't have a strong hold on that question.
Okay, so you mentioned, for example, in the last week or two, energies were shifting. Like, right,
Hmm.
so inside of you, it's like you're feeling different, right? So something is moving, something is changing, and by change, it represents the movement,
Hmm.
evolving, changing shape, forming, reforming, restructuring. And is there a deep, deep, deep sense for you through this energy that is flowing through you that there is a purpose for it? There must be a reason
Oh,
for all of that.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm struggling with the phrasing, I think, because I think it's almost a base assumption of how I look at everything. So yeah, it is true.
There's a sense, we're not talking literal sense, I'm talking a physical sense of, oh, but this is currently happening to me, through me. And I have a feeling, a sense that there is a reason for this. And this reason is going to reveal itself to me in the future or much, much later, right? But right now, in a moment, I don't know what the reason is. What I'm trying to get into it is that this key speaks of having this hunger for purpose,
Hmm.
yet never know what the purpose is. And also
Yeah.
almost dying out, knowing that you don't live your purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's that's the struggle that's constantly happening, is like the feeling of purpose is present, and then the mind comes in and says, well, let's find out what it is. And it tries to write it down so that it can be approached, but it's like it's happening on its own. There's no way for us to really know right now what comes in the future.
Okay, then what are we going to do when we don't have anything else to say about it because we don't trust our words and mind? I think we're getting until we're 64. By the time we get there, we'll won't have any words left because everything is going to be invalid.
Yeah, I think so. But I think if that were true, then, you know, I think that plays out over a longer period of time than what we're talking about, because we're human, and in this human form, we struggle. And in our struggle, we try to make sense of it. Ideally, yeah, we would just sit in silence and there would be no need.
Imagine
But
not having a mouth at all. Just having
yeah.
this like gone and telepathically and almost like talking through the morphogenetic fields.
Hmm. But then there's still some level of like what language, like what does language look like? It's just a different form. Um, and our words are manifestations of our belief systems and our values, and that's how we cast spells in the universe, right? Spelling. So,
I like to think of it as like we have a chance to use our words in life of Earth. This is our chance. But
yeah.
Gemini rising will say that because I have plethora.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
you're
almost
like,
like
go ahead,
this is
speak.
yeah, this is the only time I get to use my words. And guess what? I'm gonna play with it again and again and again and shuffle and make nonsensical sense of everything and give it a different meaning.
Hmm.
And because we're gifted with this, I
Hmm.
like it. I like,
Yeah.
but I understand who doesn't. So totally,
Yeah. Teach their own.
yeah. Okay. Do you want to move to the gift, or do you have anything else for
Yes.
shadow?
I'm good to go for gift.
Do you? Can I just ask one more thing? Because I have a
Hmm.
note here. It says, once you have become trapped in these addictive mental patterns, it is very difficult to recognize them and break out of them. However, in every turn of the wheel of fantasy, as the cycles of your life periodically reset themselves, there is that chance that the next time around the code will correctly be interpreted.
Mm.
How did you feel by reading this? Like, next time around, oh, I missed my chance next time around. Damn.
Yeah, right. It's like, well, when?
Oh
And
my
maybe
God.
maybe some of the allure in astrology is I'm gonna know when it will
32 years
happen.
from now.
Yeah. When Uranus finally goes
That's why
quiet.
I love it because it shows you exactly your chances. Actually, they're very clearly
Hmm.
on your open table. And I don't know if you listened to what I sent you, mini
Yes.
podcast.
Hmm. I loved it. Still processing.
Mhm.
I'm still like,
Processing it.
yeah, because your level of awareness with it is a few steps beyond mine. So I'm just letting it sit. I'm gonna come back to it and dive in deeper. But I already got so much. Like it's like this is amazing.
And it's big for you. And I'm not saying it's big for anybody else because your two major planets are going to cross your ascendant, which is your entire chart, your entire point of this life. And when this happens, things change a
Yeah.
lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. It will never happen to you again until you're here in this life. This lifetime,
Hmm.
that's it. You get in this level of dissolving, creating, blending into everything with everything, almost like losing your limits
Hmm.
and your Aries forcing you to go and action upon it, and your Saturn also telling you you need to come up with a structure. So these two are battling right now within you deeply, and they're going to battle even more and more as the years progress. And you have good 5, 6 to 8 years of this. Just
Yeah.
a heads up.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Which, by the way, I'm going through a similar transit,
Yeah.
which I think is going to be shocking to me too. So we can hold hands, hold
Yeah.
invisible hands, and sink down deep into the hell of
Yeah.
change.
I don't,
Watery.
I'm it is what it is. I'm like at some level I realize that it's beyond my capacity to control, and then I'm like, okay, time to surrender. And then I do. The it was quite difficult though to have um the moon passing through Scorpio, like right as Pluto's in Scorpio for me. It's just like now that I'm aware of it, I know the next time it comes through, I'm like, okay, let me just not freak
Retreat.
out about my emotional needs, my relationships. Let me find stability. So what I did actually, in that context, because you were saying you figure out your moon and it kind of sets you up for success in the rest of the chart. And so for people listening, my moon is Taurus and it's in the seventh house relationships. So it's about like the emotional safety, the home life, that sort of thing. What I did in response, because I wasn't, Carly just gave me lots of space. She's like, I don't know what this is. Here you go. And in that space, normally it's like a freak out. I'm like, what do I do? Um, I put some headphones in, just put some music on, cleaned like mad. Well, actually, no, sorry. I started moving. I did like a little mini workout. And then from there, I was like, I want to keep moving. I want to keep my headphones in. The kids were all around. They weren't really that bothered that I wasn't available, but it was like, I know I need to be inward. I can still be around them. I just need to be like in my own space. And then it went to, did some gardening, pulled some weeds. That felt really good. And then I just started cleaning and I cleaned for like 3 hours. I had all this energy. Then after, I just felt like peaceful, stable, chill. And I was like, interesting. Maybe that's part of the, maybe that's a technique I can use going forward of like when I don't feel emotional safety or I don't feel heard in that way, I can just physically physically move my body and then manifest some sense of order in my home. Like, oh, interesting, like or like organizing a bookshelf or organizing the kids' toys or cleaning the kitchen. Just just feels good. Just feels really stable. So,
Earth, down to earth.
yeah.
And your moon is in the second house, not in the seven.
Oh, sorry.
And the second house is very stability,
Oh,
a
Pluto. Yeah, my
stability.
Pluto's in the seventh house. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. And but I love that you're kind of like getting more comfortable with understanding how to use it as a tool and how to work with it rather than go against it. And I think Taurus has so much value inside of them, and it's actually really good moon to have,
Hmm.
if you
I
ask
agree.
me. It's good, it's stable,
Yeah.
but he also needs a lot. And like look at it as like it's when you're emotionally stable, you're a bull that sits
Yeah.
in front of the house. Nothing passes you by.
That's how
You
I
are
felt
a
after doing
right.
doing that work. I was like, I feel. Oh, and then we went out to the. We just walked around to the park, and then the some local families were playing volleyball, and I was like, I feel so social, so extroverted.
So good.
Um, like I felt very confident. I was like, well, this is great. I love this feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, because everything around it, if it's not the soul, and soul is just like this 1% or 5% of
Yeah.
what stays with us longer than this life. Everything else is related to the ego, to action, to building structures, material world. So that's the part where it's almost like a play of conscious and subconscious. The
Mm,
conscious is material, 99%, Carl Jung. The subconscious is 5%, right? So the same way, it's like what we see is not really what is real when we really think in mystical ways. It's like what we don't see is what is real. And it comes down to that. So I assign that as to a moon because you go to bed with yourself.
yeah.
And when you sleep with yourself and you're saying, I felt so empty.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams always comes to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams, who made entire world laugh, and yet he couldn't ever laugh, went
Yeah.
with bed. Right. So
Truly
it's
love.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's why moon matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
It's
glad. I'm glad you had fun. No
yeah. Thank
taken.
you. Thank you for the insight. So this
Okay.
gift to kind of set it up, he it's all about like electromagnetic fields and then the morphogenetic fields like Rupert Sheldrake and how that interplays with our DNA. premonitions, like sudden urges, past lives, ghosts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's so much here in this gift. I was like, there's a
Mhm.
lot. So what stood out to you, or what drew you in?
I thought of a public library, you know, public
Mm-hmm.
library. I was at the UCLA public library the other
Mm-hmm.
day. Oh my God, I loved it. And UCLA was built in 1990. So it's actually 100 years old. You're talking ancient for LA, right? So it's like, oh my God, the campus is gorgeous. And when you enter inside, you almost feel the field of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a different feeling of people just coming in with that intention. And it's almost like a hyped feeling of generations passing, passing, passing with the intention to silent and learn, silent and learn, silent and learn. And it gives you this, like, it gave me this chills. And I was like, oh, I found a place where I'm going to go and create because I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going to blend into this field and bath in it and kind of take a spa and mental spa. So it gives me the sense of a total pool of library, endless, infinite library that everybody can tap into. And I'm bringing my coffee with it, right? So it's like I have to like it's almost so pleasurable
Yeah.
if you and let me just step back for a second. Intellectual, higher mind, mystical stimula turns me on for life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know this very well about myself, which is why I'm placing myself into a field where I can feel the stimula for life.
Yeah.
That's also coming down to your chart is that you have to understand what stimulates you.
Mm-hmm.
What stimulates this life force? What gives you this energy that it's abundant and never ending? That you can kind of, you right? So it's like once you start figuring that part out through your chart, then you will know that you can play volleyball, go on Eventbrite, have a concert in the evening, and still clear the entire junkyard or your garage. So it's like there's endless energy. You just have to find it.
Yeah.
And this to me is so abundant for everyone. And there's no competition. You're just using the knowledge and it's no identification with it. And everybody can be Beethoven and Mozart at the
Mm-hmm.
same time because you just have to find the path for it somehow.
Mm. And do you do you look at it like I'm thinking of like the Akashic records? Does that does that
Mm.
come up for you at all, or is that?
Mm-mm. What comes up is new. What comes up is a big pool of this, like a pool of space you enter into that is built upon all the knowledge of the knowledges and
Okay.
is seeking to evolve more into the new. And I'm not new, like we don't invent anymore. We just reshuffle what we know.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, morphogenetic fields is the bridge to dare to create something new,
Mm.
not what 100 years ago was the same problem. And this is where the earth human limitation comes in place. Like we can only do that much.
Yeah.
And I think we can only do that much with our mind, but yet we can come up with something through the eye of imagination and bring back down to earth innovative way of creation. I can talk about this for a long time.
Okay. Let's do it.
It's almost sacred to me. Like it's almost like so rich in its feeling is that there's almost like it's fearless.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a fear because it's actually not yours and yet it's fed from everything that ever was. And yet it's meant to evolve itself too. So if I compare just 2000 years ago, we didn't have any technology that we're using today.
Mm-hmm.
Any. But we came up with it, right? So we came up with it. And we came up with to evolve. It was innovative, it was new, and we're flying in the air, right? So it's like we created it. We have capacity to imagine and dare to imagine to fly without the wings. It's shocking.
Mm-hmm.
us who only have legs to walk on earth are now flying way above the earth. It's like, who knows what we can create? And this is very possible for us humans, species, to come to the realization and kind of push it. This is where I think Carl Jung explains this psychoanalysis and almost like synthesis of conscious and unconscious. And he gives you a different perspective of thinking that your imagination is so profoundly necessary. And we no longer imagine. Now we're self-destructing ourselves by using AI because you put no effort to imagine something new. Something else is doing it for you. And something else is just spinning what it already knows. It's coming up with something new that you can maybe just absorb and speak, but you are not creating it. We
Yeah.
are supposed to create it out of our imaginary eye,
Mm-hmm.
because only then you will evolve, because your own inner conscious and subconscious are going to meet. That is only and only for the sake of your own evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Getting hot and sweaty when I think about it. So we have to imagine, we have to play with our imagination. And
Mm-hmm.
to play with it, you have to really almost like let it go when it comes and just tease yourself with it. And it gives you this momentum of, okay, maybe this and maybe that and maybe this, and I will never know. And because I never know, I can never attach to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost not mine to own, rather
Yeah.
than it's mine to tease it and push my capacity and limits through
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find on a practical level, the inspiration comes in, and like I shared with you an idea about kind of like a video project as it relates to the zodiac, and it was such a large project, and it was so beyond my current capacity. And you were like, well, just run with it and see what happens. And I'm like, yeah, because ultimately I can retract in fear about how large it is,
Mhm.
or I can get really reactive and try to like force it into existence when it's not ready to. But it's just like holding it, having it be with me in that, and you're in that place of like this, it's kind of uncomfortable, but it's also pleasurable. It's
Liminal.
like it's brewing, it's moving me. And in that, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to come through. I don't know how I'm going to get the capacity to be able to do the work at this level. But I know that I have to surrender to the idea itself. And when I did that, I was watching someone else's video about doing a film project, and they were using this tool for organizing like storyboarding. And so you use visual elements from other movies, TV shows to kind of organize the layout. And I was like, this has been like a theme that's been coming up as I keep having these ideas, and then I put them in text, and they sit there and they kind of die in text because there's no living element to it. It doesn't represent what I'm trying to create. It's just like words on a page. And of course my mind creates images, but it doesn't feel like, I don't know how to like bring it into form with a camera. But then in using this, I'm like, oh, duh. Like, okay, have the name. I've heard of this tool like 20 times, and for some reason, I've never actually gone into it. Now I have a very clear picture of I have a project and I can use this tool, and at the very least, I can just storyboard out the vision I want to create. And then it can just, what I imagine will happen is I'll storyboard it, and the inspiration behind the idea will probably go away. And then in the future, on some new evolution of who I am and my capacity to create, maybe it comes back in or maybe it doesn't. But either way, the idea itself caused me to expand my own capacity and find a tool, find um, a new way for me to work in creativity in this way. So it's like it's whether it continues or not, it served its purpose, right? I'm expanding within the idea itself.
Yeah, I love that. And it reminds me of the magic, the big magic,
Yeah.
Liz's book. And he comes and visits, and you either do something about it or you don't. And the play comes in trying. It's almost like you want to
Hmm.
try to impress the idea of how good you are and not feel exhausted because you have to. You want to. There's a
Yeah.
choice. There's a difference between I have to date you idea, and then I really want to date you.
Yeah. Hmm.
And I love that because you're testing your own, and if this one doesn't work, the other one works, and the other one I will try another one, and it's almost like endless trial. And while I put the blue paint and brush it on my canvas, and I actually don't know what I'm gonna create, I don't want to ever know because then I put the yellow and then I put the black and then I put the red and it becomes this beautiful flower. And I'm
Hmm.
like, what? I want it to surprise me. I almost
Hmm.
never want to know what I'm creating, actually. And with that, it's almost this tease of seduction that consistently stimulates me to come back to it and
Hmm.
dance with it and play with it. And also, one thing you said, it's like when I have such a big idea, to me, it reminds me of when you tap into morphogenetic fields of knowledge that ever was and ever existed, we can't put the cosmos in one mind. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And that's the feeling. It's like I have such a big idea that it freaks me out. And it's
Hmm.
so good. I want it. And yet I feel powerless because I can't do all at once. Like
Hmm.
it's going to take me mountains of lives to get to its creation. When that happens to me, and it happens so often, I'm like, keep it simple, keep it simple, keep it simple. Let's say, keep it simple. And what's the smallest thing you can do? I
Yeah.
literally, from that, I come back to down and I'm like, what's the smallest thing you can do? And I just
Yeah.
create small little mini poem.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the thing you can
And
do today in
yeah,
present?
keep it simple.
Hmm.
KISS method, keep it simple, stupid.
Hmm.
It does help because it's overwhelming to the mind to hold the universe. It's overwhelming. The heart can, the soul will gladly. The mind that makes us and forces us to do things, it's almost like it shuts off immediately. You can't. No way.
Hmm. Yeah.
I love that. I can't wait. Are we still going to Kilimanjaro?
I don't know.
Later,
Like,
later.
yeah. Again, it's like making plans. Who knows, right?
One day I'm just gonna come to you and I said, listen, I live next Monday. Wanna come? And you'll be like, yes. Before all the wars are destroy everything that we ever built. Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave you with emanation because I really don't have much to say on this.
You're gonna leave me with it.
Yeah, I want you to
You,
like
you'll just exit and I'll
elaborate.
just finish.
No, I'm gonna listen. Ooh,
Okay. Hmm.
before. How about this? It is the difference between the genius and non-genius. Genius manifests whilst non-genius dreams. Gift.
Genius manifest.
What is the difference between genius
Hmm.
in your understanding and non-genius?
Yeah. We've all heard people or ourselves say, um, yeah, I almost did that thing, or I almost became, I heard this in college. Um, Friends that, I don't know, we just start talking about like Navy SEALs or something. And can you still hear me? I thought my
Hmm.
microphone just turned off.
Yeah, you got a glitch, a little matrix in it, but you're
Okay,
fine now.
still on. Um, and people would say like, yeah, I wanted to become a special ops or a Navy SEAL. And then the person that's actually in the military, they're like, okay, cool. Like, I can't relate to you though, because I actually went and did it, and in that, like, you just made the decision to push forward, and whether you made it, whether you passed or failed, whether it came into being or not, you were able to manifest a bigger idea or an inspiration. And I think that leads inevitably to being seen as a genius, in the world because the gap between the idea and action becomes smaller. And the better you get at decreasing that gap, the more genius you seem to be. At
Mm,
least at least in my opinion.
I see. Okay, I'll give it a different point on that.
Sure.
And it's like, out of which field are you showing up? Like, out of what part of you shows up to the world? And so it's tightly connected to the feeding from morphogenetic fields as your gift, where you're downloading the program and you're sharing it to the world in a classical symphony, Mozart symphony.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like you almost say, I don't even know where is this coming from and how I got to this. I have no recollection of it, yet voila, and it's not mine. And when you operate out of a higher mind, higher state that is egoless, that actually is not even identification of your personality, character, or who you are in your mind on earth, it's like there's a potential to discover the genius, which is not even yours. You just happen to elevate yourself to that level to understand and download a different programs, different understanding, teachings, and stuff like that. And you just happen to be the one, right? So it's almost like, what are the chances and odds? What are the chances is that you become the one that, which by the way, are also actually can show up in your chart too. It's like, what are the chances where your higher third eye is so open that you will technically start talking a different language, and I'm not talking tongues, I'm talking different language that you never read, never understood, never heard, never taught before, but yet your understanding becomes very different. You're speaking out of something totally, some part of you totally genius. Like, and then you read yourself and you're like, oh my God, this is good. And you're not even aware. To me, this gift has that potential to come to that level of much higher powers and higher language, higher mind. And it gets constantly tricked down to what is the pseudo genius
Mm.
that we think and we speak of. And it's very interesting how you can actually see it when somebody's really trying really hard to be performative. Have you watched a United Nations speech of any president, random presidents?
I'm sure I have over the years. Yeah.
And
Not recently.
recent,
No.
the recent one that happened is hilarious. You can find presidents. I laughed. I laughed. It's like, oh my God, he actually has no freaking clue what he's talking about. And he is so, so animated. He's the
Mm.
president of someone's country representing. And it's like, you can see the animation that sounds genius, but yet it's so weird. It's like, it's totally pseudo. And something is wrong in there, right? It's like you can feel like when you don't speak out of your higher powers or your own higher emanation, or like, yeah, it's to me, it's a clear distinction of something that it's not yours, that you kind of just speak, that speaks through you, versus something that you very much own as yours.
Mm. I like that a lot. Quick side note. Do you
Yeah.
is there a politician that you have seen that doesn't feel performative on some level? There's like I have this
Mm,
I don't know whether to call it a theory or belief, but there's this term called kabuki theater, which is
mm,
kabuki is Japanese. Do you know this?
mhm, mhm, mhm,
It's like this very extra performative play, basically, and that the players within the play get so attached to the roles that they're playing that they forget that they think that they're playing it out as if it were real. And some part of me is like the people that we see who are leaders of the world, and that can be political or even in business, like the Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerbergs. Um, it's it's theater on some level. On some level, they're cosplaying. They're putting on costumes and acting as if you know they're supposed to act. And it's like um,
Mm,
we often our modern depiction of what genius is like
mm,
you've attained some level of right like a success in that realm. And it's interesting that you're pointing to something very different, which in your version of genius or the genius that's here in the gene key isn't um, doesn't need to be seen. It doesn't need to be um, elevated or validated in that sense. It exists on its own, and often like the the true geniuses that we can experience or meet or participate with, they some of them don't have platforms where people are following them. And
mhm.
I think it actually contributes to the genius itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah.
And then you mentioned you said your chart earlier. Was that general or was that speaking
To you.
to my actual chart?
To you, my friend.
Yeah.
Only you. Yes. To you, to you, to you.
And that would be you were talking about language. So you was that be Mercury or what were you saying?
Oh, no, I'm not talking human language. I'm talking Neptunian language, which is
Mm-hmm.
the sense of creation. But
Mm-hmm.
creative, like Neptune wants to dissolve, it wants to liberate you, right? And it wants to do it now because it's in a sign of Aries. And Aries is action. And your
Gotcha.
Aries is your Aries leads your entire chart. So everything that comes in a form of downloads for you, in a form of spirit, energetic enhancement, evolution, wants the action now for you. It's a fiery. It's like, whew,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, and you're gonna do this for the rest of this life, right? So it's like this is how you know when it comes, it's instant, it's very reactive.
Yeah.
And you have to learn how to use this energy. So your Neptune that wants to liberate you, it's actually teaching you to liberate you. It's gonna play this, but free yourself up. Go be free in the world of dreams and dissolve dissolution, illusion, which is what is real for you. Is it this
Yeah.
life or that life? Is it blue pill or red pill, right? So it's gonna ask you this to self reflect and it's gonna kick your butt. And it's starting to kick your butt, but it's gonna come when it crosses your ascendant. And here's the beauty of it. Right now, it sits in your 12th house, which is the higher power. It's a higher temple. It's the temple and it's the table where we sit as a completion of our soul journey, right? It's like okay, it's a completion. It's the last piece that we have to do and to
Mm.
let go of everything that we built through all 12 houses. So right now it's seeking that powerful wisdom and forces upon you. They're landing on you. So when you finish with this collection of what is the completion of everything, what is the higher meaning of everything that I'm doing, once you passes your ascendant and it moves into the first house, you become a new person.
Yeah.
Your first house is all about new you, your next step in evolution. That's big, massive deal. I just get chills when I talk about this.
Yeah. When is
It's
this?
I can tap I'll tell you afterwards. I have to actually look,
Okay.
but it's happening in the next few years for you.
Okay.
It's the net, but you have two powers in play. I love how you're like, when is this happening? Is it about me? Is it about me? It is about you, my friend, for you. And it's big ass deal. Okay, so that's one thing, right? So it's asking you to learn to dissolve what no longer serves you, to learn to disappear and let go. Neptune lets go. it's allowing you to let go. Now is the chance for everything. It's like, and also kind of surrender it to higher powers,
Yeah.
because in your next round, it no longer is going to be what you're going to fight for and evolve from. And then
So
Saturn,
real quick, can I frame that just for my own understanding?
yes,
Um, with it being in 12th house right now, it already feels complete. It's like it's more passive in terms of how I'm responding, and then it's gonna move into first house, and it'll be like I have to move it. I have to do stuff with it.
for a very long time, maybe even 10 years, it was in the 12th house for you in a sign of Pisces, which means you were kind of like going out there and you were like opening yourself up to it
Yeah.
with a whole heart, with your whole soul and
Mm-hmm.
desiring. Now we move to Aries in same exact 12th house, which means
Mm.
last chance for you to do something about it, action on it.
Mm.
And these last pieces of dissolving will pop up for you out of blue, and it's going to light your ass on fire, and it's going to be, you do this now. And
Mm.
it's going to constantly, you do this now in the next maybe 3 or 4 years, it's going
Yeah.
to show you clearly what you need to action on and let go of, and clearly open you up. So Neptune wants to continue opening you up to dissolve, because you want to finish. By the end of our soul journey,
Yeah.
125 years from now, lives, 125 lives, so whatever, 1,000 lives from now, we will end up being dissolved. That's the
Mm-hmm.
12th house. We will end up just blending in with all there is, and nothingness and everythingness.
Mm.
And it's showing you the beats of pieces of it, how to do it now and let go, teaching you how to let go. Let go. You no
Mm-hmm.
longer need it. And it's going to
Mm-hmm.
show you what you are going to disassociate with. It's no longer yours to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And then Saturn.
And then Saturn is a
I'm loving this already.
responsibility. I can't believe I'm giving. I'm not. This is my third review or fourth. How many times? But it only shows you how many. How you can. It only shows you how you can understand the moments, the time in your life where you're right now. Okay,
Yeah.
Saturn is a father of responsibility. It's actually telling you how to structure yourself up, right? So these two are now, one wants to dissolve, the other one wants for you to structure. So somewhere there, you're going to also have a nudge to structure something new. And to structure in the 12th house, when there is no structure, to structure the God, the conscious itself, you can't. But it's going to give you these glimpses, and it's preparing you to do it when it crosses your ascendant in 3, 4 years. And this is where you actually action, and you become, oh, I know what I needed to know. I learned what I needed to learn of that world. And I
Mm.
can now create a structure out of it. So your Saturn is going to give you these glimpses of, and almost like a nudge to do it. But I wouldn't do much about it. You can't actually.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you can't yet. But when it crosses into your first house, it's gonna be all about you. You're actually setting your life structure in a very different way. So I would just pay attention to what it's telling you. You need to structure. So what you're doing right now is like your creativity comes in, and there's this nudge. And I want to create through video, through photography. You keep coming back to it. It's calling you again, and maybe this structure, this format, this
Mm-hmm.
camera. And this is exactly what it's doing. It's almost like bringing you this creative,
Mm-hmm.
this like, I can do something, this like, I can't tell what the taste
Tasting
is
it.
yet
Yeah.
for. Yes. And then it's going to kick your ass, and it's going to actually forge you forward. Aries in the first house is no matter what, no matter the cost,
Yeah.
you move. It's
Warrior.
taking over the territory. Yeah, it's you take over the territory and you action on it, and it's literally setting you up for the remaining of the life. Really, really powerful transit
Mm.
for you. But you have to play with both structure and dissolution. One wants the structure, the other one wants to break the structure. So you have this like play right now happening.
Yeah, I feel that. And
Learn about it.
yeah,
Good time to learn. Really cool.
thank you.
Anytime. On demand.
I know it's been really nice. It's been like
And don't call me when you're Mars what when your moon just transits your Pluto. It's
Yeah.
like, what do I do? This is so moon Pluto Scorpio. It's like you get so lost in the depth of it that you freak out. It's like it feels like hell,
Yeah.
but temporarily. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of it.
Feels like it feels like if I don't do something with it, I'm gonna die. And then I'm like, well, maybe it's you have to die on a metaphorical level here.
Totally.
And then I do, whether I want to or not.
Really cool. I love that.
Okay, 41 emanation.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
so the holographic
Trick.
mirror of the universe. We reach something both spectacular and terrifying. What does it mean to arrive at the source of all being? That's essentially the fundamental piece of this city of the paradox is there's no language to really accurately describe like the source, right? We can only estimate what it looks like. In some of the words, he talks about language being limiting, but emanation might be the closest English word used. But I really like the I Ching here is called decrease,
Mm-hmm.
and I find that to be like a very simple description of the city of like you just imagine it's a constant action of decreasing.
Mm. In order to poof.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where it makes a mockery of all your efforts,
Yeah.
meditation, morality, and systems for understanding life. There is no how within this city.
Mhm.
This is the terrifying sentence for us because it means we can do absolutely nothing to trigger this state, which in turn means that we are utterly helpless.
Mhm.
I love it and I hate it because as much as it's beautiful to read and to understand that, oh my God, this I'm trying so hard for nothing. And just so that I can get there and understand that I don't want any of it. And yet I have everything. It's
Mm.
such a duality and paradox of like, should I say something or should I not? Either way, it's against me.
Yeah.
It's such a trickery. It's such a trickery. Mm, such a
Well,
trickery.
yeah. It's just a, like elimination of concepts, right? And so what's left is the emanation itself. Like it comes out, it just will come out of you, right? So there's an element of being a vessel. I really like this terminology I received from a friend of mine who follows Osho, Diane, who was in 20 with us. She
Mm,
said, she said, just, I'm like, how are you doing? She's like, just trying to be more of a vessel today, which just means emptying your concepts and your understanding, just becoming empty. And then what
mm,
emanates out is the truth. What emanates out from there. And I was thinking about Osho when I was reading this because he says, the ones who make this city manifest face a terrible dilemma. If they speak, they know they will speak with an agenda. Even if they do not speak, people will interpret this as yet another agenda. They know they are trapped and it can never be communicated the state that they're in, and there's nothing they can say to help anyone. And I always think of the quote, my job is just to confuse you.
mhm. Yeah, I love
I
that one.
think, yeah, and I think Osho has this city, and he realized
Mm.
that the only thing he can do is just be a vessel for emanation, right? And sometimes it's speaking, and other times he's in deep silence. Other times he's retreating. But when he's speaking, I think he plays with this trickery, with this like falsehood of it. And um, I've heard different talks of his where on one talk I'm like, okay, got a clear picture of like the path, and then this other talk he like destroys the whole thing.
Hmm.
And then once I heard the quote, like my whole job is to confuse you. I actually let go of like, well, why do I need to listen to you then? If you're just to confuse me, I'll just be confused
Hmm.
because that's how I already feel. Like I don't have this figured out. And it's like, oh, there's just like stages of surrender, and that's decrease.
Hmm.
And then, so if this is the big vision, we imagine enlightenment, bliss, God realization. And then like you said, when I have the big vision of creativity, keep it simple. What's the thing I can do right now? And I like the word decrease for the I Ching because there's some level of decreasing my sense of understanding, my sense of attachment, my sense or the concepts that I'm holding on to.
Mm.
Just even if it's just one, like I'm just gonna let go of that concept. And then that's keeping it simple. You're moving towards maybe you're moving towards, maybe you're not. That's the concept too, right? Decrease.
Yeah. I loved that. I loved that. And when, I think you said it like 2 years ago, until you quoted Osho to me, it's like, until you're utterly confused, there's no evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost like live by it. I
Mm,
loved it. It ingrained itself in my psyche so well because I like when I confuse myself. It's like,
mm,
wait a minute, I just said this and then I'm now in the opposite. It's like, what a paradox. It's like, I like when I come to the paradoxical dead end. It's
yeah.
like an instantaneous collapse of the whole thing happens. And I love that. And decrease, you're right. I like how you explained it. It's like I'm decreasing my knowledge because it's falling off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's falling off. It no longer matters. It no longer matters. And it's somehow happening just for you, and that's it. And it doesn't matter if you say or not say anything. It's like, damn, what a state to be in.
Mm,
And then he slaps you in the end with, but there's no evolution of consciousness either.
mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I love it. And I hate it, but I'm trying. All evolution is a figment of our imagination. It belongs in the domain of samsara itself.
Mm.
Way to go. I love it. And I love that we have space that we can get confused and still laugh about it.
Yeah. It feels like it's been a while since we've had a city that has done this to us.
That we
And
claim that we're full of shit anyway.
yeah,
Don't listen to it.
yeah. We finish and we're like, yeah,
So good.
it's so funny because like, we can have all these realizations, these points of connection, and then you and I start talking about the city, and then we'll finish the podcast, right? And I'll go and Carly's like, "Did you have a good podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "What?" Like, I don't know how to describe it.
It's
Um,
such a cool journey. And in the end of the day, it's really funny and we're having a lot of fun and we're playing with it.
yeah, it feels rich, right? It
Yeah.
feels, yeah. There's like there's some flavor to diving in, and even in the destruction of the temptation as it's laid out here, of like, there's nothing to pursue, there's no evolution. Even the concept of the city itself will get sucked into the emanation, like the black hole pulls everything. And yet there's a part of me that's still tickled. I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun. There's like there has to be that, otherwise we wouldn't be here. If this just landed immediately, we wouldn't. I'd be like, I'm done. There's no need.
Yeah. So it tickles. It's like it's kind of like what tickles is like, oh, we're moving forward,
Right. Mm-hmm.
progressing.
Yeah. Progressing an illusion.
Oh my God.
But it's we're
I love it.
participating in the paradox. We're active participants. That's all that can be said, really.
Yeah. And I think it's like we can do it's, I have to quote Carl Jung again. It's just my thing this
Yeah.
last 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, you're in it.
And which I think is very tightly connected to Blavatsky's theology and hermetics. But, we can talk about this later, where nothing, everything is through that imagination, right? So it's almost like your imagination is such a rich field for your conscious to evolve towards. It's like it makes your conscious part move the line and takes larger space and have a bigger understanding of your own potential and all of that, so that way you can realize a lot of other things through the cities here to get to that point. But it's more like to bridge that dark space of subconscious that it's unknown for us. It's like, and if I can do anything for this lifetime, is to give a chance for my already existing gift of imagination and tool to open me up a little bit more. And if I'm here and I'm to get to nothingness here, I'm moving. And
Yeah.
my mind needs to know that it's moving in order to participate, and I'll give it. Yes, we're progressing. But there's also a built sense of revelation, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
your own self-revelation and your yeah, and like it's, I like when I get no words for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
like that state of me, because to me that's truth. And
Mm-hmm.
if my truth tomorrow for my mind is to say, hey, I said that yesterday, today I mean different thing, it's still the truth. But
Yeah.
how am I feeling with the truth?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think, do I think? I'm like questioning everything.
I love it.
I just want to say again, the decrease, part of this Gene Keys journey feels like a continual decrease. Just like, and it's interesting because there's 600 pages of words here and concepts, but something is operating in the background that feels like, I feel if I were to describe this to someone of like, well, okay, well, you've done 41 podcasts on the each Gene Key, what has it done for you? And I'm like, well, in your expectation, I would say nothing. Like what you would expect from it is that I've got a clear depiction of who I am, what I'm here for, what's happening. I don't. I have actually I had more concrete understanding when we first started than I do now. But it almost feels like I have more abilities. Like my ability to surrender is higher, or it's wider.
Mhm.
My ability to expand is greater. My ability to connect is more deep and profound. And if nothing else, my relationship with you is the very rich now compared to when we started.
Mhm.
There's a profound connection that we've built. So, yeah, I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, we gained non-tangibles
Yeah.
and we lost all tangibles.
Yeah.
And that's the paradox of it too. It's like when you start with the structure, is structure going to, it's like, are you doing, okay, let me rephrase this. Why would somebody want to listen to us?
I don't know.
Please don't listen. And because it's almost like, why would you want to listen to us rather than trying to do yourself? Because whole Jinky podcast contemplation is actually us, nothing more than us trying to do ourselves.
Yeah.
And this was very clear in the beginning. It's still clear now. And the clearer we get into this is actually our own evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And it just happens to be online.
Yeah.
And earlier today, it crossed my mind. I was like, oh my God, when your children grow old, they'll go back to YouTube and listen to his dad. And if it's only for that, to see your face, to your beautiful face and your actual evolution that takes patience and time and dedication to come back to it, oh my God, boom, done. But really, we came here for our own space because we needed it and we didn't know where to find it. So we created it for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we gain nothing off of it that it's tangible. And we tried over and over again to concretize it and make it in a structure. And it refuses to be so. It refuses. But yet we gained so much more and so much more space. And it's has no price on it. It's priceless. So
Mm.
I love it too, and thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
Mm. So good.
you. Yeah.
Mm.
Whew, 2 hours. Well, no, right on time.
Thank you.
Anytime. Every Sunday. All right, enjoy your Sunday, buddy.
Yeah. Enjoy
Okay,
Paradox.
we'll do. Okay, ciao, ciao.